Hello, everyone. I welcome you all to day 3 and the last training session for Republic Day Forensics for the debate um, category. We are going to learn two things today. One is how to prepare case files, and second, how to make evidence cards. So, how do you make case files is essentially something that is very relevant to understanding how you draft a case, which is your speech. Now, the drafting of your speech, obviously, remember when I told you that whenever you have been given a motion, that's not just you going ahead and trying to make your points, but also you going ahead and trying to basically also gain any and everything, like any knowledge, working knowledge on that particular topic, which is very important. So obviously, when you're trying to gain the working knowledge, you're trying to also make a number of arguments which are going to be presented or which are going to be made. However, it's also likely that you would not use all of those arguments. So what you need to do is do two things: write all the points that you think you can and you want to run, but secondly, go ahead and try to club the arguments which you think are very similar to each other, and then go ahead and remove any argument which you think is either repetitive or be less like less persuasive per se. Obviously, you're supposed to make two case files. One is for pro and one is for con. So one is for side affirmative, government, or whichever side is proposition, and one is for side con, negative, or whichever side is opposition. Okay. Now, case files are similar for both Public Forum and Lincoln Douglas. So yeah, this is the case and this is the concept that is going to be followed irrespectively. Okay. Now, moving forward as to how do you form arguments. Now, something that you need to remember in terms of how to make arguments is to figure out as to the answer to why. And before I actually move forward to how you make arguments and what should be the considerations, I quickly want to see you guys make arguments on the motion and resolution. India should continue Make in India scheme. So if this is the resolution, what would be your argument? Yes, Krishan.
Ma'am, Make in India scheme will make India self-reliant and it will expand GDP for
Okay, good.
export.
Yes, Anjur.
Ma'am, it is believed that India and China can be the only self-sustaining countries as they have all the resources to run by themselves. So, Make in India scheme can be a huge leap towards self-sustenance. We will not have to depend on other countries.
Okay, yes. So let's move to the points that I had. Claims, developed job opportunities, expansion of GDP, fortification of rupee, increase in brand value, upgradation of technology, ease of business, utilization of young minds, self-reliance. All of these are points which you can run. Now, before you move forward, what you need to remember is, are there any points that you think are similar to each other and therefore you can actually club them under one argument? Ahil, yes, go on.
I think expand GDP and fortify the rupee. It can come expand GDP can include fortify the rupee. I think that's a sub part of.
So I would say expansion of GDP, fortification of rupee could be a different subpoints under the same head of economy.
Yes.
And you could also probably add, yeah, I think these are the two. And then if you want to talk about better trade system, you could also go ahead and like club things like ease of business, increase brand value, um, also upgradation of technology altogether. And then if you want to talk about things like why is it good for young population? You could talk about development of job opportunities, utilization of young minds. But then if you want to give more social reason, you can go ahead and like talk about self-reliance. You can talk about national integration, national unity, and all of that. So the idea is try to club arguments, and the way how you would club it is going to be contention one. It is beneficial for economy of India. Sub point one is it leads to expansion of GDP. Sub point two is it leads to fortification of rupee. So that's how you would basically try to frame it. Obviously, these are just headings, the claims. You're still supposed to give evidence. You're still supposed to give analysis to it. Now, how do you give evidence? How do you give analysis? This is how you do it. Contention one, Make in India helps in expansion of GDP. Shilpi 16, due to the manufacturing of products in India, economic growth is inevitable, which will not only boost the trade sector, but also will increase the GDP of Indian economy, as with the setting up of new factories and various investment being speculated in the Indian commercial sector, the flow of income will be humongous, blah, 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 largest in the world. Now, this paragraph proves that if Make in India exists in India, it'll lead to expansion of GDP. This is the paragraph which is not just the link, but also the resource. So it's both. It's actually warrant plus evidence. And the reason as to why it's evidence is because of this particular word, Shilpi 16. What do you think Shilpi 16 is?
Ma'am, author?
Yes, correct. So Shilpi is the author. What is 16?
Year.
Correct. So 2016 was the year when this was made. But I'll give you more understanding as to what this is. So this paragraph is the paragraph that you're going to quote in your speech. This thing is also something that you need to quote. So still, according to Shilpi 16 or Shilpi 16 states, is something that you need to actually verbally say, because this is your evidence card and the opponents need to know the name of your evidence card. But how do you frame evidence cards? So this is the formation of evidence card. This is the format. You need to know the full name or of the primary author or the editor. You need to know about the publication date, the source, title of article, the date when it was accessed, the full URL, author qualification, and the page number. So this is the order that you need to follow in order to make the evidence card. When and why is this evidence card required? You can ask for evidence cards in order to know if your opponents are actually actually making up the points, or is it actually true? So if they're making up, they won't be able to send the evidence cards to you. When do you ask for evidence cards? In cross-examination, after the speech, anything, okay? So in cross-examination, I like it when it is in cross-examination, you could ask, can you please send me your evidence card for this particular argument? Or can you send me the evidence card for this particular statement that you said? And then if they actually have relevant source, then it's great. If they don't, I think judge will discredit. And you can also say that in your rebuttal speech or in your summary or whichever speech is next, okay? So the idea is that that this is the entire thing that you will actually copy paste and send in the chat box. But in case if it is in positive time, what you can do is just send the URL, the link, okay? You don't need to send the entire thing. Now I'll teach you how to actually figure out which one is the correct stuff. So for example, this is the title of the article, Advantages and Disadvantages of Make in India. This is Business Alligators, the source. This is the writer, Shilpi Singh. This is the year when it was written. I think it was para 10. So here is the para that I actually copy pasted. This is the entire paragraph, and this is your URL. This is how you make your evidence cards. I hope this is clear. Are there any doubts? I want you to actually make evidence card on something now. I'll keep this on the screen. Try to find evidence card. Try to find a resource that tells you the population of tiger in India, and send me and make the entire evidence card for it. So first tell me what is the population of tigers in India, and then try to make evidence card for it as to where you got it from.
Ma'am, can we cite websites that are providing us with PDFs?
They are giving you PDF.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes. Open the PDF and then you'll be able to cite it better.
Ma'am, sometimes the PDF is downloaded. Is it all right if the PDF is downloaded?
Can you send me the PDF link?
Sure, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am. I think that was a non-credible source. I think that was what to say, ma'am? It was a knockoff, I think, of a credible source. I found the real source.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have a doubt, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm actually unable to type out the evidence card, what it actually is, ma'am.
Okay, send me the link that you found. Okay, at least tell me what is the population of tiger and where did you find it from? So population 3167. Can you send me the link?
Okay. Ma'am, I sent it.
Okay, I'll open it. Can you see my screen still? Can you still see the?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is okay. Can anyone do like quickly also refer to? I'll open the evidence card. Can anyone type for me though? Just type for me so that I can, because I can't type on my chat as of now. Oh, I can actually. I do. Okay. See, so the first thing that we need is name of primary author. What is the primary author? Can you see here? It is Shivani Azad. So this is going to be, oh my God. So I'll put Shivani Azad, then comma, and then there is the publication date. Can you guys see the publication date? It is July 30, 2023. So July 30, 2023. Then what is the next thing that I need to put? It is the source. Sources Times of India. The next thing that I need to put is title of the article. What is the title of article? Pegged at 3167. Can anyone read the full article name for me? I can't see it. In April.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, pegged at 3167 in April, India's tiger population now placed at 3682.
India's tiger population now placed at ... I'm just not writing it full because time. Then the date when I access this digital evidence, what's the date today? 19th of January, 19th Jan or Jan 19th, rather. Jan 19, 2024. Then I'm supposed to put full URL and then qualifications of the author. So it's going to be the full URL is going to be here. And qualification of the author is that the author is editor of Times of India. And then Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you make your evidence card. Can you guys see it? It's in the chat box. Is there any more difficulty in understanding how to make evidence cards? Did you understand, Sakib?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it. Okay then. If you all understood, okay, can anyone tell me what's the name of the card then? Looking at the evidence card that I made. Quickly. What's going to be the name of evidence card? Think. Name of evidence card is, yes, Sakit.
Ma'am, is it tiger population
No.
in India?
So the way how you name evidence cards is first name of author, last 2 digits of year when it was published.
Ma'am, can you
Shivani
share
has
the
23.
Yes, it's
Shivani
going to be
23.
Shivani 23. Yes. So it is Shivani, according to Shivani 23, the number of population, the tiger population in India is XYZ, blah, 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 and then you go forward. Is there any more doubt about how to make evidence cards? I think this should be clear.
Ma'am, can you
No.
share the format of evidence card in chat?
It's going to be in the PPT. I'm going to share it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, because I finally found the source, ma'am.
Yeah, it's going to be in the PPT. Don't worry. Yeah, that's going to be in PPT. That's exactly the same thing. Then how do you prove things? The way how you prove things is by warrants. So let's say if your claim is Make in India would promote self-reliance in India, your warrant is the reasoning. So the reasoning one is Make in India can increase investments to build infrastructure. Reasoning two is this would boost local manufacturing industry. Reasoning three is that it would not have to India would not have to rely on imports and other nations for manufacturing. Now, obviously, either of these reasoning could probably be also supported by a resource. So if you think any resource actually says the same thing, then what you can do is, let's say, according to Afreen 29, it can't be 29. So according to Afreen 21, Make in India can increase investments to build infrastructure. I mean, this is just an example, but if at all there is a website that actually states the same thing, that's how you give your logic. Now, this is what the example of case file looks like. So legalize. So if the motion was United States federal government should legalize all illicit drugs. So it says legalization helps the world. Subpoint A, legalization would reduce crime and criminal behavior. Drug use is rising in United States, and marijuana use has continued to increase. Among college students, 44% reported using marijuana in the past year in 2020 compared to 38% in 2015. Now, this is not how I'm supposed to read it. The way I'm actually supposed to read it is going to be all the highlighted parts are actually parts which I'm not going to speak in the speech. Okay. The reason as to why the highlighted part still exists is because it's the entire paragraph that has been taken by the website. You don't need to actually read the entire paragraph. You can read the relevant parts which you think are actually supporting your claim. So the way how I'm going to read the first subpoint is going to be, can you read the evidence card name? It's NIDA 21. So according to NIDA 21, drug use is rising in the United States. Annual marijuana use has continued to increase, and then so on and so forth. Now, for example, on the right side, it has German 2017, right? So German 17, according to German 17, America allows a dangerous addictive drug, blah, blah, blah. So this, I'm going to read the evidence card. So argument one or contention one, legalization helps the world. Subpoint A, legalization would reduce crime and criminal behavior. Now, this person has actually used like three sub reasonings in order to prove the same thing. But the idea is that they're the warrants of the same argument, and it's always good to have more than one warrant for the same argument. So that's how you make arguments. Is there any question there? Similarly, another example of case file, Ahil, yes, tell me.
So a warrant is basically a sub reason for say a subheading?
A warrant is a reason, yes.
So in our speech, like what we're actually going to speak. So for each subheading, 1 or 2 words are enough.
For each subheading, as in like argument and then subheading, for each subheading, 2 warrants, yeah, fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. I think the reason as to why I'm okay with 2 reasonings is because of paucity of time. There's no quantitative mark of how many reasonings you can actually use. Insofar as you're able to establish the argument well, and you're able to answer why, what, and how of it, I think you don't need more than 1 reasoning also if you think it's very strong. Now, this is how the evidence card looks like in person. So if you make it to IIT Madras, I want evidence cards in hand. So you'll have describe argument made in the evidence in all caps. So this is what your argument is going to look. So for example, if it is drug use has led to deaths, this is going to be the heading, and then the entire thing that I told you here, and then the paragraph could be cut and paste here. So that's how you make evidence cards in person. Don't need to make it right now. Okay, this is how you make evidence cards and case file.
Do we have
Yes.
to code the websites directly, like should we copy and paste, or like can we change the wording as well, ma'am?
You can change wordings, yes.
Ma'am, but it should be relevant to what the website has said.
Yes, so if it is paraphrased, you should mention that this evidence was paraphrased, not in your speech, but when you asked for it, but also you should at least remember which paragraph you paraphrased.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, also while providing any argument in our constructive speech, we have to mention the evidence card.
Yes.
Ma'am, any evidence card?
Yeah. Any constructive speech you have to. Not just in constructive speech, but also in rebuttal speech. But like again, in rebuttal speeches and other speeches, it becomes less important. But again, you have to continuously keep referring to evidence cards, even in other speeches. So yes, constructive speech most important. Okay, these are the demo videos that I actually like put for you. So this is NSDA 2019, it is NSDA 2010. You'll actually know how many evidence cards they actually use. How much time do we have? If we have time, I'll actually play one. And then just like a part of one video. I don't think you can hear it, right? I'll share it again. Okay, I think you can hear it now.
And I'd like to extend a few thank yous. First to the NSDA, who effectively became my team, with Malcolm X, that freedom requires a fight. And because this fight realistically requires violence, I affirm, resolved, violent revolution is a just response to political oppression. Because all humans share an intrinsic worth that entitles them to certain dues from their government, my value is justice, defined as giving each their due. The value criterion is mitigating structural oppression for 3 reasons. First, excluding voices allows the ideologies of the privileged to be deemed as universal and true. Only when everyone has a say in the government can the government be just. Second, structural oppression creates skewed, unjust power disparities in both citizen-citizen relationships and citizen-government relationships. This grossly unbalanced power dynamic leaves innocents' fates at the whims of oppressors, allowing oppressors to treat them as subhuman and remove their dignity. Third, because only my criterion can address real-world issues. Absolutist conceptions of justice fail to apply to real-world conditions. Lane 2009 explains, the search for perfect justice is regressive because societies will never agree on a perfect set of rules and institutions. This search distracts us from tackling real-life injustices. The perfect becomes the enemy of the good. The competing vision of justice is a comparative one, which examines the kind of lives people actually can lead. For clarity, I offer one observation. The resolution does not force the affirmative to defend the use of violence in every instance of political oppression, or even in the majority of cases. The affirmative must only prove that violent revolution is a just tool in the toolbox. Contention 1. In the face of oppression, people retain the right to harm their oppressors. This right flows from our innate right to self-defense, as Locke explains. Whosoever uses force
Okay.
without right puts himself
Did you see he said as Locke explains? This is where he's referring to his evidence card.
into a state of war with those against whom he uses it. In that state, all former ties are canceled, all other rights cease, and everyone has a right to defend himself to resist the aggressor. Contention 2. Alternatives to violence are ineffective at mitigating structural oppression. This is for 4 reasons. First, nonviolence isn't effective anymore because regimes are becoming.
So did you notice his entire speech is very structured? He tells how many reasons, he tells 4 reasons, reason number 1, reason number 2, reason number 3, everything is very warranted. I'm now going to show like a gist of a little bit of, where is my other public forum? Okay.
We started the week.
We owe you all of our success and then some. Lastly, some
I
personal
don't think
thank
the audio
yous.
is that.
I have to thank the figure that raised me and taught me
No.
everything I needed to
I
know
think
about
you're-
growing through life. They opened my eyes to the world and exposed me to new ideas and creativity I never would have been able to experience before.
That's
So thank you,
19
Kanye
apps to
West.
vote for what side you think might be winning this
Yeah.
debate, the pro or the con. At this time, let me introduce to
Can you
you
guys
the
hear
judge
it actually?
Virginia, 2-diamond coach, Harry Strong. From
Our teammates Ren, Zane,
Can you
Afton,
hear it?
Gabby, Yoe, Surya, and Jack.
Yes, ma'am. It's
and unusual animal noises have been monumental to our success.
I can't hear it for some reason.
To my family, words cannot express how appreciative I am for the constant sacrifice you've made that I could be continuing to chase my dreams. From sending me to tournaments in the wee hours of the morning to believing in my ability when asked to go to camp the summer before senior year, I wouldn't be here without your unconditional support. Thank you for your decision to immigrate to America with negative dollars in your pockets to create a better life for
I think he's
the Gen,
thanking
despite
people
all of
and-
our hard. For all people of color to settle for nothing but the best, ultimately, and most importantly, thank you for getting me out of Congress and into PF as fast
He's
as you
still
could.
thanking people, I think he is.
This as venture capitalists who fund startups want to recoup their investments by selling out to big tech. But antitrust moves would kill the financing startups process in the first place. Secondly, Rogan 19 provides another warrant telling us that big tech companies provide a safety blanket and the infrastructure for startups to innovate more heavily and to create new products. The impact of hurting tech startups is economic output. Economist Enrico Moretti estimates that tech-based startups have a job multiplier of 5. For every direct job created by tech, 5 additional jobs are created elsewhere. That's really important, as 64% of job creation growth from 1997 to 2011 is attributed to small startup businesses. Ultimately, Vandenberg 06 finds that startups and entrepreneurship specifically is a key ingredient for poverty reduction through small enterprise development. Contention 2 is financial technology, or fintech for short. Kagan 19 finds that fintech is used to describe new technology
Okay,
to
see,
improve and automate the delivery
this
of
is the
financial
part where he
services.
actually referred to an evidence card. He said 19, Cajun 19, I think. So yeah, this is how you're supposed to refer to evidence cards. So I've also again linked 2 more videos. You can obviously go back and watch, but for now, what's more important is not just learn, but also the implement. So make your arguments, make your speeches, make your case files, and then be prepared for both sides, pro and con, affirmative and negative. If you guys have any questions, let me know, but that's the end of today's session.